Now we want to take more examples on trigonometrical ratios. Let's recall on what we have done so far. I believe you have seen this before. Sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tan theta is opposite over adjacent. And in the first quadrant, all is positive. In the second quadrant, only sine is positive. In the third quadrant, only tan is positive. And in the fourth quadrant, only cos is positive. So we have all students take coffee. Now we have these questions to solve. We're asked to evaluate sine 220 degrees, tan minus 210 degrees, and cosine minus 154 degrees, and cosine 285 degrees. You can pause the video now and give it a try. Okay, let's begin. Number 1, sine 220 degrees. Where does 220 lie? Does it lie in the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, or fourth quadrant? Now we can see now 220 is greater than 180 degrees and it is less than 270 degrees. So therefore it lies in the third quadrant. And in the third quadrant, sine, sine is negative. So we simply have sine theta, this is the third quadrant, is equals to minus sine theta minus 180. So let's apply that. Where we say sine theta is equals to minus sine theta minus 180. Our theta in this case here is 220 degrees. So therefore sine 220 degrees is equals to minus sine 220 minus 180. And simplifying this, we have this to give us minus sine 40 degrees. And the expression for this will be negative 0.6428. That's been solved. Let's look at question number 2, which is tan minus 210 degrees. Now the question is, where does minus 210 degrees fall? Meanwhile, we made emphasis that this analysis here works only for positive angles. Okay, now to evaluate the position of minus 210 degrees, we have to draw a diagram. Okay, so therefore we have minus 210 degrees coming in the clockwise direction. Remember, clockwise is negative, anti-clockwise is positive. So minus 210 degrees is covering be in the third quadrant, so in the second quadrant. So we have this 210 degrees. Question now is, how do we get the acute angle here? X. And how do we even know theta? All right, now to simplify this now, when we have negative angles, just to make things very easy, when we have negative angles, we understand that the sum of angles at a point is equals to 360 degrees. Therefore we are saying that this is 210 and this is our theta. 210 and this is our theta. So therefore theta plus 210 is equals to 360 degrees. So whenever we have tan minus 210 degrees or anything, maybe sine with negative angles cos a negative angle, tan a negative angle. All we just have to do is to evaluate theta, and from there we're able to pinpoint which quadrants that theta fall into. So let's evaluate theta now. Theta here will be equals to what? 360 degrees minus 210 degrees. So 360 minus 210 is equals to 150 degrees. So in essence, we are saying that tan negative 210 degrees is equivalent to tan 150 degrees, because we have converted the negative angle to a positive angle. That's interesting. So let's come to something to make it all interesting. So theta plus the negative angle is equals to 360 degrees. So we can call this theta the positive angle. Theta. So whenever we have the negative angle, we use this formula to evaluate theta. Now, if theta now in this case is 150 degrees, where does 150 degrees lies? 150 degrees is greater than 90 degrees and is less than 180 degrees. So it is in the second quadrant. And in the second quadrant, we understand that all students take coffee. In the second quadrant, only sine is positive. So therefore tan is negative. So let's look at the expression for tan in the second quadrant. Tan in the second quadrant is tan theta is equals to minus tan 180 minus theta. 180 minus theta is the expression for the relative acute angle equivalent. So therefore we are saying that tan minus 210 degrees, that's the negative angle, is equal to tan 150 degrees, which is the positive angle in terms of theta, will be equals to minus tan, and the relative acute angle formula for second quadrant is 180 minus theta. Theta in this case is 150 degrees. Therefore, this will give us minus tan 30 degrees. And let's use our calculator to evaluate tangent of 30 degrees. We will have it to give us minus 0.5774. That's interesting. Let's take a look at question number 3. Question number 3 says we should evaluate the cosine of minus 154 degrees. Cosine of minus 154 degrees. Now we have a negative angle there, and we remember the formula that the positive angle plus the negative angle is equals to 360 degrees. So we understand that the negative angle, positive angle here is theta. Okay, that's what we are looking for, theta. The negative angle in this case is 154 and is equals to 360 degrees. Therefore theta is equals to 360 degrees minus 154 degrees, and if this would give us 206 degrees. Therefore we are saying that cos, okay, all this should be in blue. Therefore, we are saying that cos minus 154 degrees in the negative angle is the same thing as cos 206 degrees in terms of the positive angle, which is theta. Now, where does 206 degrees fall? 206 degrees is greater than 180 degrees, but less than 270 degrees. So it falls in the third quadrant. Now let's make reference to all students take coffee. That means in the third quadrant, only tan is positive. Therefore, cosine is negative. What is the relative acute angle formula in the third quadrant? It is simply 1 theta minus 180 degrees. So if you go back to this theta minus 1, so we are using tan theta. The question says cosine, so we are using cos theta is equals to minus cos theta minus 180 degrees. Therefore, we have cos minus 154 degrees, which is equals to cos 206 degrees, is equals to minus cos into theta minus 180 degrees. Theta in this case is 206 degrees. So this will give us minus cos 26 degrees. Using our calculator for this, we'll arrive at minus 0.8988. And finally, question number 4. Question number 4 says we should evaluate cos 285 degrees. Cos 285 degrees. This question is direct since it does not involve negative angles. So in view of that, we will understand that 285 degrees is in which quadrant? It is greater than 1, is greater than 270 degrees, but less than 360 degrees. So therefore, it is in the fourth quadrant. And in the fourth quadrant, all students take coffee. That means cosine is positive. So we have that cosine is positive. Now, what is the relative acute formula of the fourth quadrant, which is 360 degrees minus theta? So let's apply that now. So we have cos 285 degrees is equals to cos 360 degrees minus theta. Theta in this case is 285 and it is positive. So this will give us cos 75 degrees positive, and the relative answer for this is positive 0.2588. So all we are dealing with here is this expression, that sine is all are positive in the first quadrant, sine is positive in the second quadrant, tan in the third quadrant, and cosine in the fourth quadrant. Now we'll take some exercise on how to evaluate trigonometrical ratios.